So today I'll explain to you some of the big things that happened this week, because we got 4 stories today. First story, well, super cool. The second one is a very silly law, according to a lot of people online. The third one is something that's horrible that happened in the UK. And the fourth one is something that you and the whole world needs to know that it's happening. So yeah, let's get started with the first story. So after 33 years of planning and 20 years of construction, Egypt finally opened its $1 billion museum. And let me just tell you something, guys. It's crazy because it is the biggest museum in the world devoted to only one civilization, and as you guessed it, it's the ancient Egyptian civilization. So in this one museum, you would find everything about ancient Egypt because it has over 100,000 artifacts. For example, from Tutankhamun's tomb alone, there are 5,393 objects, and many of them were never seen before by the public. Also, the museum itself is like 2 kilometers away from the pyramids of Giza, so people in the museum can easily see the pyramids too. Guys, like even the entrance is wild because you would be greeted by an 11-meter giant statue of Ramesses II. But you'd be asking me, Omar, why did it take them 33 years to finish this museum? Well, first of all, I'll tell you, great question, my friend. And second, to know that, let's go back to 1992 when the Egyptian government wanted to build the largest museum in the world dedicated to one civilization. Because back then, the old museum in Egypt was overcrowded and artifacts were stacked and dusty, so Egypt's government found a 120-acre plot of desert in Giza and said, okay, that's where we're gonna have our museum. But now they needed the design for the museum. So in 2002, Egypt had an architectural competition to see who would be the best fit to design this museum. And an Irish company called Hengen Peng Architects won that competition to design the museum. So now we have the design ready, but now they have to build it. And it's 2005 now, and they started construction. And the project was given $1 billion. Like, that's funded by the Egyptian government, loans from Japan, and some private sponsors. So everything seemed like it's going well. Like, they even had 5,000 engineers and workers who were working on this project. And in 2006, the statue of Ramesses II, which weighed 83 tons, was moved from downtown Cairo to that museum. So everyone was like, okay, wow, they're actually making this. It's gonna happen. But then in 2011, there was the Arab Spring Revolution, and that caused a lot of political issues in Egypt. But that was not all, because during the 2010s, Egypt was also having a lot of other problems like shortages of funding, challenges of the government, and even artifacts in the museums that needed to be restored because they were in horrible condition. So Egypt's government was like, okay, let's hold on a little bit on this project because it's a lot of money, it's a lot of work. We ain't in the best situation right now to be working on it. So a few years passed, but then in 2017, Egypt's president declared the museum a national priority, and then Egypt finally started taking it seriously. And on November 1st, 2025, the Grand Egyptian Museum officially opened. And let me tell you guys, this museum is really wild. Like, for one museum to have so many artifacts is a huge accomplishment. Like, honestly, respect to them for such a huge feat. And yeah, let's see what the next story is. So if you were online this week, you probably saw that a lot of people were bashing Slovakia because they added a speed limit for pedestrians. Yeah, for pedestrians. And apparently they said that pedestrians were only allowed to go 6.4 kilometers per hour. So everyone online was like, what's wrong with Slovakia? Who would do such a thing? And they were even joking, like saying that, okay, if someone was like running or even speed walking, will they go to jail? And for that, well, yeah, I'm here to kind of correct whoever was complaining about this law. So to explain it to you, I need to tell you a little problem that Slovakia has, and it's the cyclists, skaters, and people on e-scooters. Yeah, those people, because they're not walking on the road with cars, they're actually on the sidewalk. And because they're going on a sidewalk really quickly, they bump into pedestrians who are walking, and that caused a lot of accidents. So Slovakia was like, okay, that is too much. We need to find a solution. So they decided that if you are on the sidewalk, you know, on your bike or on your e-scooter, whatever, then you have to be slow enough that even if you hit someone by mistake, then it wouldn't be too bad, which in my opinion makes sense. Like, you don't want to be walking and then getting hit by behind by an e-scooter. Like, something like that would really hurt. Like, trust me, it would hurt. Okay, wait. don't trust me so much because I didn't actually get hit by an e-scooter yet, but I can imagine that it would hurt really badly. So yeah, that's why they added that law. But then you would ask me, Omar, where did they even get the 6.4 kilometers number from? And I would tell you, first of all, another great question. You've been asking some good questions today. And second, well, they didn't actually get that number specifically. Like, they did some math, and not sure exactly what kind of math they did, but they did come up with an estimate number that would be slow enough that even if they hit someone, it wouldn't be bad enough to hurt them badly. But thing is, we don't even know if that number is right or wrong because that law is not enforced yet. Like, it will start on January 1st, 2026. So we will see if that 6.4 kilometer number actually works, and we will see if that law will work even or not. But I am very curious to see what will happen and if it's gonna work out for Slovakia. I am, like, seriously, like, a speed limit for pedestrians is wild. But now you understand, it's not for people who are walking or running. It's for the people on, what do they call it? Like, vehicles? They're not really vehicles, are they? I don't know. It's for those people. You know what I mean? Okay, and let's see what the next story will be. Okay, imagine that you are sitting peacefully on the train, just, scrolling on your phone, minding your own business, when suddenly someone starts attacking you in the train, and you did nothing, and they attack you with a knife. Well, unfortunately, that happened in the UK this week. Because on Saturday, November 1st, a train was going from Doncaster in northern England to London King's Cross. And on 7:30, something crazy happened. A man who boarded the train pulled out a huge knife and suddenly started attacking the passengers in that train. And thing is, he started attacking randomly, like super randomly. He was just swinging his knife and attacking people. And at 7:39 p.m., the first 999 emergency call came to the police. And by the time the police got the call, multiple people were already stabbed by that psycho. Because inside of the train, it was chaos. Like, passengers were running. Some of them were even hiding in toilets. And even one person said in an interview that he put his hand on a chair and it was wet. But it was not wet because of water. Well, it was wet because of blood.
I put my hand on this chair, like just trying to push myself forward. And then I look at my hand and it's covered in blood. And then I look at the chair and there's blood all over the chair. And then I look ahead and there's blood all on the chairs, and I'm thinking, okay, this is pretty serious.
Like, the chairs were full of blood because that psycho was just stabbing people. But gladly, there was one member of the train's crew who was bravely trying to stop that stabber, and apparently that decreased the number of people who got stabbed a lot. But then the train driver stopped at the next stop because obviously he's not going to continue normally because there's a psycho on the train. So he stopped at the next station where the police were waiting. And let me tell you, he made that stop at 7:44. Can you imagine? So for almost 14 minutes, the passengers on the train were in that horror with that psycho with a knife just trying to stab everyone. So anyways, the train stopped and armed police officers were waiting to catch that stabber. And apparently when the police were arresting him, the stabber was shouting things like, "Kill me, kill me." So yeah, like, no idea what was wrong with him. But then the police did arrest two people, a 32-year-old and a 35-year-old British man. But then the 35-year-old man was released because the police realized that he was not actually involved. So now the police only has one man in custody. And the police did mention again that he was British because a lot of people online, once they heard of that horrible incident, they started blaming, obviously, as you know, other nationalities and saying that they are coming to the country to kill and, whatever that stuff online is. So yeah, the police, to decrease that hate online, said that, yeah, he's a British citizen. Anyways, they have him in custody now. But for the passengers, unfortunately, 11 people were hospitalized and 2 of them are in life-threatening conditions, including, remember, the crew member who tried to stop the stabber. But after that, while the police was investigating, they said that this was not a terrorism. Even though they do not know the motive yet, they said that this is not a terrorist attack, which is a little weird to me. Like, if this is not terrorism, then what is? Anyways, hopefully the people recover quickly and that guy gets punished because, well, he deserves it. And let's see what the next story is. So Donald Trump apparently threatened that he might send US troops to Nigeria for possible military action. But then on the same day, he said that the US will stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. But thing is, why? So to know why, we need to know something that's going on in Nigeria right now. So Nigeria has militant groups, like extremist militant groups, like one of them is called Boko Haram. And apparently those groups kill a lot of people. And they kill them for many reasons like land, ethnicity, and unfortunately, religion. Because a lot of Christians in Nigeria were killed by that horrible group. So Trump said that he might send the US military to fight those groups if Nigeria does not do something to stop those groups from killing Christians. And then he said that if Nigeria fails in stopping those groups, then the US will stop all aid and assistance that's going to Nigeria. So basically, he told the Nigerian government to act fast. But then Nigeria responded saying that Trump is wrong because Nigeria is saying that those militant groups are not specifically prosecuting Christians because they are Christians, but those militant groups are just killing people. But the thing is, Trump might be the one who is correct because sources from the UN and other groups did show that yes, Trump is correct. Thousands of Christians were killed by those groups and that they were killed because of their religion. But thing is, also a lot of Muslims were killed by those groups for apparently not being Muslim enough for them, whatever that means. But we can agree that those are horrible extremist groups. But thing is, what Trump said at least made the world now focus on what's going on in Nigeria and to also put some pressure on the Nigerian government to take this seriously. Like, I am sure that they were taking it seriously before, but now that Trump said that the US military might intervene in Nigeria, the Nigerian government is probably putting this as the #1 priority. So hopefully those groups come to an end. And seriously, like hopefully any group that kill people just because their religion is different come to an end too. But anyways, there you have it guys, a little summary. Obviously not everything that happened last week because there are a lot of stuff that happened, but we will make another summary this week and we will try to include more stories. Anyways guys, I love you all and see you next time.